I was also teaching, and I was a self-employed teacher, and I was teaching in companies, so doing company work really.
Did you have your own? You had your own company?
Yes. Well, I didn't, not exactly a company, but I worked for myself, and I was the only worker. I mean, I didn't employ anybody to teach. Yeah, but that was fun. I enjoyed that.
But it was off-site teaching. You went to their business.
Yes, I went to the companies. In-house teaching, nothing.
And how long did you do that for?
7 or 8 years as well.
In Valencia?
Yes. But then I thought, because of course circumstances change and everything changes, and I was offered just temporary Saturday mornings here. And since then the work here has just grown and grown and grown. And there are also opportunities that I wouldn't have had just working by myself. You know, so I've become an examiner. I'm also writing tests, which I quite like.
So how long have you been in Valencia?
In Valencia, on and off for about 15 years.
Wow.
That's
almost
a long time
as long as me. I think I've been here 17 years now.
But on and off. I did go back to England for 1.5 years in that time, and then 3 months here, and then 4 months there.
Have you lived anywhere else in Spain?
I lived in Barcelona for 6 months. That's where I started off. I actually did my CELTA training there, in International House in Barcelona.
So what brought you to Valencia?
My mum lived here, or lives here still.
I didn't know that. And that's why I love doing these interviews, because I'll find out things that I just didn't know.
No, my mum's Spanish as well. So she spent, nearly 40 years in England.
So have you always spoken Spanish? Did you speak Spanish at home?
Well, I'm not sure about speak Spanish. I've always had some contact with Spanish, but I wouldn't really say I spoke Spanish at home. But I do have cousins, and the only way I could communicate with them was in Spanish. Mm-hmm. So I did have an advantage. But I also studied it at school and at university. So,
right.
I had a big advantage coming here.
Where were you born?
Ashford, Kent.
And did you grow up there?
Yes. I grew up in Ashford, then we moved to Folkestone.
Oh, by the sea.
By the sea, the Channel Tunnel.
Did you ever live in London?
Yes, and then I studied in London. But now all my family live in London, or Valencia. So it's one or the other. In the end my parents divorced. My father went to London and my mother came to Spain. And my brother lives in London now as well.
What's been your most memorable moment in the classroom? Do you have one? Something that sticks out?
I think we live in Valencia. Valencia football team is very, very popular. And when my son was born, one of the classes gave me a replica kit of the Valencia football team. And
what, small models of players?
No, not of the players, of the kit, the actual kit, the t-shirt and the shorts, and they gave me a t-shirt, the shorts, and the socks of for a baby. So I thought that was so sweet. It was like nearly in tears. So I unwrapped it and had a look. Oh, it's a t-shirt.
Was that when your son was born?
Yes.
How old is he now?
3 now.
3.
Time goes quickly.
Was he playing football yet?
No, this is. He likes football. Every kid likes football. But I'm trying to keep him away from football at the moment.
Why?
Well, because football dominates everything, and they're only.
Especially in Valencia.
Yes, in Valencia and Spain, and I'm trying to broaden his culture, his sporting culture.
Thinking it'll probably drift into football eventually anyway with his mates.
It's inevitable. And he'll talk about football, and he'll play football, and he'll go to football matches. Mm-hmm. But at the moment I'd like him to see other sports and other areas of, like sport.
What advice do you have, Gary, for Spanish speakers who want to learn English?
What advice do I have?
As he dropped his cookie on the floor.
There are lots of pieces of advice that you could give to Spanish speakers. At the moment, I think the way Spanish is taught in schools is very grammar-based. And to really learn a language well, you need to know the grammar, you need to know pronunciation, vocabulary, they are fundamentals. But there is a case for actually studying language in context, studying language as it is in chunks, and forget about studying grammar to apply to or to do grammar tests. This is not very effective.
And how would they
decontextualize
How would they
language.
do that? Can you give them something more practical? For example, go and look at films, listen to
films. I always find very, very useful is actually and interesting as well is taking small chunks of language, a song, a couple of paragraphs, three or four paragraphs, a magazine article, a newspaper article, and analysing that and saying what is being said in the article or the song and how it's said, the grammar, the language that's being used in order to. And this is very useful, and you don't need to go to a school or an academy to do this. You can do this by yourself.
Mm-hmm. Also, sorry, but I think that's very useful, particularly with songs, because you could take it as a poem and analyse the word stress and analyse the rhyming vowel sounds, and then when you listen to the music, it suddenly becomes alive.
Yes, and songs, you know, there is this thing that when you study grammar, it's just not a language, it's just to do a test. Nobody likes it, but everybody likes songs, and you can choose your songs as well. And it has that effective, you know, it is, you know, very relevant for them because they like it, and also it's very catchy. Songs repeat themselves, you can sing along with the song.
So it sounds like you're saying don't concentrate so much on grammar, but concentrate more on words in context and find original sources of English.
Exactly, yes. Put language has always a context. So you need to find that context. Mm-hmm. It's very important what they're saying, how they're saying it in everything. Analysing more.
What do you do with your time when you're not teaching or spending with your family?
Oh, spending my time with my family is spending time with family and spending... I don't know, I enjoy reading a lot. So I read all sorts of things. I also enjoy running. I go running a lot. When I'm not injured.
But do you play football?
I used to play football, but nowadays you get to a certain age, you get injured. Everybody I used to play football with doesn't play anymore. But you get to a certain age as well, and the youngsters sort of go vroom, 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 and overtake you, and they're faster and stronger and quicker, and then you start losing, and you don't like it.
Yeah, I've been there. Can you talk a bit about what you hope to do in the future, Gary?
What I hope to do, apart from family-wise and being a good father and focusing on that, I'd like to professionally, I'd like to follow a lot actually writing tests. So specialising more and more in my area. Mm-hmm. I'd like to do that. So maybe, I don't know, I still enjoy teaching, but maybe in the future teach less and do maybe work online and write exams, or maybe more examining.
And that would also lend itself to working at home, which would allow you to be around your family even if you're not actually with them, which would give you more flexibility in terms of spending time with your family.
Exactly, yeah. So spending time at home. Changing the dynamics of things, I think.
What makes you happy?
What makes me happy? My son makes me happy. My family make me happy. Very happy.
Good.
But just general satisfaction of teaching. Teaching makes me happy as well. Seeing progress, people passing exams.
What makes you sad?
Sad? Oh, I don't know. Lots of things that make me sad. Nelson Mandela possibly dying will make me sad.
Is he dead yet?
I don't know.
He probably will be by the time this video goes online.
Could
unfortunately,
be, yeah.
But he's in a pretty bad way.
But lots of things make me sad as well. I don't know. The students, just the general crisis that we're in makes me sad. There's no expectations for people in the future. Mm-hmm. Make me sad. Oh, I don't know. All sorts of things.
Apart from perhaps Nelson Mandela, which famous person would you like to have dinner with or have a beer with?
Have a beer with? I don't know. There are lots of people. Maybe Alex Ferguson. He might be interesting. He's probably got a lot of stories to tell. He's been around a long time.
He has.
And he finally retired, so that would be interesting. Winston Churchill, Nelson Mandela. Winston Churchill would be interesting, I think, as well. Mm. Don't know why.
In an ideal world, what would your life be like?
In an ideal world? I don't know, my teaching would be perfect, my students would be perfect. No, I think that actually the idea of perfection is completely dodgy. I don't know about an ideal student or ideal teaching, but much the same as it is now, I think.
Oh,
I do more or less what I like, and I have enough time, I think, and enough money to do more or less what I like. So I'm quite pleased about that.
If you could change something about your character, what would you change?
My character? I would change the way I get up every morning. I'm not a morning person.
You don't like getting up early?
I would love to be a morning person, but I'm very grumpy.
Me too. I hate getting up early.
Don't talk to me.
Till I've had that second cup of coffee.
Exactly.
Don't speak to me. The world doesn't exist.
Exactly. Well, I'm much the same.
If you had €6,000 to spend on yourself, what would you buy?
What would I buy? €6,000? A trip to Australia. I don't know, I'd go travelling with it, I think.
Why Australia?
I've never been. There are lots of things to see, I don't know. I like diving, I could go to the Barrier Reef, I like nature, you could go to the outback. I think it has a lot to offer. Well, it's a whole continent in one, I think.
Well, my best friend lives in Sydney. He moved there with his family about 4 years ago, and he keeps inviting us, and I keep wanting to go, but it's expensive.
That's the chance. That's the opportunity.
No, I know.
And he could organise a trip for you too.
He could, but I wouldn't want to stay too long with him.
No, say yeah,
it's not
Sydney.
But a week maybe.
Yeah.
4 or 5 days with him.
Yeah, it's a big country. You'd have to get flights around and travel well.
Yeah, maybe next year.
Take him up on the offer.
Yeah.
Aye.
Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. So I thought that was so sweet. It was like nearly in tears. So I would change the way I get up every morning. I'm not a morning person.
You don't like...
Take him up on the offer.
Yeah.